Vanessa, do you have a minute? I asked, stepping into the kitchen where she was sipping her morning coffee. She didn't look up at me. I'm a little busy, Ethan. What's up? I frowned. Busy? At 7 a.m.? Busy? You're just sitting there. Her lips curved into a polite smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. I have emails to go through. Can this wait? I leaned against the counter, feeling that strange chill creeping into my chest. We used to have breakfast together, you know? Just talk. Remember? She looked at me then briefly, eyes flicking away like she had somewhere else to be. I remember. Things are different now. You know how work gets. Different? I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. Since when did we stop sharing our mornings? Vanessa shrugged, taking another sip. Life changes, Ethan. We're both busy. You understand, right? I did understand, but I didn't like it. Something in her tone made my stomach twist. I forced a laugh. Yeah, I get it. Just, seems like we're strangers sometimes. Her silence hit me harder than I expected. Ethan, are you okay? She finally said, tilting her head slightly. Am I okay? I repeated, frustration bubbling under the surface. I'm asking if you're okay. You've been distant. Lately, I feel like I don't even know you. Vanessa's eyes flitted away again. I said I'm fine. It's just work stress. Work stress. I echoed. Vanessa, we've been married 3 years. 3 years. And suddenly work stress makes you, this. She set her cup down carefully. This what? Her voice was almost icy. This coldness, I said, feeling the words catch in my throat. Your eyes, your words, you're not the woman I married. I can't help but notice it. She looked at me longer this time, like she was weighing her words. Ethan, people change. We all change. Maybe you're just noticing now. I shook my head. No, this isn't just noticing. This is different. Something's wrong. Tell me the truth. Vanessa's shoulders stiffened. There's nothing to tell. I'm tired, that's all. Can we not do this right now? I felt my chest tighten. Tired? Vanessa, I'm asking because I care. I can't just pretend everything's perfect when it's not. If there's something going on, just say it. Her lips pressed into a thin line. Ethan. I said it's nothing. Please, stop pushing. I swallowed hard, trying to control the panic rising in my throat. I can't stop noticing, Vanessa. I can't. Something's off. I feel it every day. Please, don't shut me out. Vanessa glanced away, silent for a moment. Then she spoke, quiet and measured. Maybe I just need space. For a little while. Space. That word landed like a stone in my stomach. I wanted to argue, to plead, to beg her not to push me away, but I held back. Space. I repeated, voice low. Fine. But I'll be watching, Vanessa. I'll notice. Always. She nodded without looking at me, and I left the kitchen, a hollow ache gnawing at my chest. I couldn't shake the feeling that the woman I loved, the one I had built my life around, was slowly slipping out of my reach. Something was hiding behind her polished perfection, and I was determined to find out what it was. Ethan, I have something to tell you, Vanessa said, her voice calm, almost too calm as I walked into the living room. I froze mid-step. What is it? My heart skipped, a sudden panic rising. She took a deep breath. I'm pregnant. I blinked. Pregnant. My voice cracked. Vanessa, how? I just got back from the trip. That was only a week ago. She nodded slowly. I know. I didn't plan it this way either. A cold dread settled in my stomach. You're joking. I shook my head, disbelief clouding my thoughts. There's no way. Vanessa, it's impossible. Are you serious? Vanessa didn't flinch. I'm serious. Ethan, there's something you need to know. My mind spun. Something I needed to know? What could possibly justify this? What do you mean? Tell me now. I demanded, my voice trembling. She sat down on the sofa, motioning for me to do the same. I resisted, standing rigidly in front of her. Tell me, Vanessa. Don't dance around it. Her eyes met mine, calm and piercing. The baby, it's not yours. I felt my knees weaken. My vision blurred for a second. Not mine? My voice sounded foreign to me, raw with shock. Vanessa, are you serious? You mean, you've been with someone else? She shook her head, but her eyes remained steady. No, Ethan. Not like that. It's complicated. Complicated? My fists clenched, anger and confusion battling inside me. Complicated? Vanessa, look at me. I just came back. We were married, everything we had, it's all a lie. Vanessa's lips trembled slightly. It's not a lie, Ethan. We love each other. I do. But this baby? I couldn't tell you before. Couldn't tell me? Vanessa, I trusted you. I left everything behind to come back to you, to our life. And now you're telling me there's a secret and I'm supposed to accept it. I paced the room, my mind racing. Ethan, please sit. Just listen, she pleaded, standing and reaching for my hand. I pulled away, shaking my head. Listen? How am I supposed to listen when my life just crumbled in front of me? She stepped back, her voice softening. I didn't know how to tell you. I feared this would destroy us. But hiding it wasn't right either. I thought if I waited, maybe? Maybe what? I interrupted, my chest tight. Maybe it would go away? Maybe I'd find out eventually and still love you blindly? Vanessa, this is insane. I can't even think straight. She lowered her gaze. I wanted to protect you. I wanted to protect us. But I see now. I've only hurt you more. You've hurt me more? I laughed bitterly, pacing faster. Vanessa, you've shattered me. I don't know who I am anymore. The woman I loved, the woman I trusted, she's not here. She's gone. Vanessa stepped closer, cautiously. Ethan, I'm still here. I love you. I always will. This doesn't change what we have. I spun toward her, voice rising. Doesn't change what we have? Vanessa, a baby that isn't mine, a secret you've been keeping. You call that love? Her eyes glistened with tears now. I wanted to tell you the truth, but I didn't know how. I didn't want to lose you. I sank onto the sofa, my hands gripping my head. Lose me? I whispered, almost to myself. Vanessa, I don't even know who I am anymore. Every memory, every touch, every night, was it real? Or was it all part of this secret? She knelt in front of me. It was real, Ethan. Every bit of it. Please believe me. I looked up at her, tears blurring my vision. How am I supposed to believe anything now? My mind is spinning. I feel like I've been living a lie my entire life. Vanessa reached for my hand again. We'll figure it out. Together. I promise. I shook my head, feeling both rage and despair. Together? I need time, Vanessa. I don't know if I can do this right now. She nodded, biting her lip, silent tears running down her cheeks. I understand, Ethan. Take all the time you need. I stood abruptly, walking toward the balcony, staring out at the city lights. The truth had struck me like a hammer. I was living a lie. The woman I loved, the architect of my life, had built it on a secret. And now nothing felt safe. My heart was raw, my mind a storm of betrayal and disbelief. I spent the night pacing, memories replaying like cruel jokes. Every laugh, every whisper, every touch, was now tainted. And in that moment I realized one thing with absolute clarity. Nothing would ever be the same. I sat in the corner of a quiet cafe, tapping my fingers on the table, watching Vanessa's assistant, Claire, sip her latte. Thanks for meeting me, Claire. I know it's sudden, I said, trying to sound casual. Claire smiled politely, but there was a flicker in her eyes, something guarded. No problem, Ethan. What's this about? I leaned closer, lowering my voice. It's about Vanessa. I'm worried. She's been acting differently, distant, secretive. I just want to understand what's going on. Claire hesitated, glancing around. Vanessa's private. She doesn't share a lot, even with people she trusts. I tried to keep my tone light, but my heart was pounding. I know she's private, but this feels different. Can you tell me anything? Anything at all? Claire's fingers drummed on her cup. I don't know how much I should say. I mean, Vanessa's careful. She doesn't leave traces, but sometimes she gets calls late at night. And emails. Lots of emails she doesn't open in front of anyone. I felt a jolt of panic. Late night calls? Emails she hides. My voice rose slightly. Claire, this isn't just curiosity. I need to know. Please. Do you have any idea who she's talking to? Claire shook her head slowly. No names. She's careful. But sometimes she looks stressed even after work. Like she's carrying a secret she can't tell. My chest tightened. Carrying a secret? Claire. I don't know what to do. I can't live like this not knowing. It's killing me. Claire leaned back, studying me. Ethan, maybe you should talk to her directly. But I get it. You want to know without her knowing you're watching. I nodded, swallowing hard. Exactly. I feel like a detective in my own life. Every message I see, every call I notice, it's like a puzzle. But the pieces aren't making sense. Claire's lips pressed together. Be careful, Ethan. Secrets have a way of hurting people. I stared at her, my mind racing. I don't care. I have to know. Even if it destroys me, I need the truth. She hesitated, then nodded slightly. I understand. Just, don't let it consume you entirely. After meeting Claire, I started combing through emails Vanessa left open on her laptop. Most were mundane work messages, but a few caught my attention. Cryptic notes, strange subject lines, and signed attachments. My pulse raced every time I clicked. What is she hiding? I muttered under my breath. My phone buzzed with a late-night call. I answered breathless. Ethan here. Hello, Ethan, a deep voice said on the other end. Vanessa isn't available right now. Can I help you? I recognized it instantly. It was her work partner, someone I trusted. But even that conversation left me unsettled. No, just checking in. Thanks, I said quickly, hanging up. My trust felt fragile, like glass ready to shatter. Days passed, and every clue made me feel emptier inside. I caught Vanessa looking at her phone, quickly turning away. I noticed strange receipts, unfamiliar names in her contacts. My paranoia grew. Everyone's hiding something, I whispered to myself. Friends, colleagues, even family. Can't trust anyone. I confronted her casually one evening. Vanessa, I noticed some odd messages. You've been getting calls late. Emails hidden. What's going on? She smiled faintly, almost teasingly. Ethan, you're imagining things. Nothing's going on. Nothing's going on? I pressed, stepping closer. Claire said you've been secretive. That's not imagination. That's reality. I can feel it. Every lie, every omission, it's all right here. Vanessa's eyes softened, but there was a glint of something unreadable. Ethan, you don't need to worry. I handle things my way. I shook my head, frustration spilling over. No, I can't just sit and wait. I need to know. I have to know. She leaned back, crossing her arms. Then I hope you're ready for the truth when it comes. Her words echoed in my mind long after. I stayed up that night, pacing my apartment, replaying every conversation, every hidden glance, every suspicious message. I felt like a detective unraveling a crime I couldn't name. And the more I uncovered, the colder I became. My chest felt hollow, my thoughts sharp and restless. Secrets weren't just hidden, they were suffocating me. Every revelation felt like a knife twisting deeper into the heart I thought was safe. By the time morning came, I knew one thing: I couldn't stop. Not until every shadow in Vanessa's life had been revealed. Vanessa sat across from me at the kitchen table, hands folded, eyes red but steady. Ethan, I need to tell you everything. My chest tightened. You already did. You said the baby isn't mine. What else could there be? She swallowed. The truth. Then say it. Her voice dropped. The father isn't another man. I blinked. What does that even mean? It's someone from my past. My stomach turned. From before me? She nodded. Then how is the baby not mine? Her eyes finally met mine. Because I never stopped seeing him. The words cut deep. You said there was no affair. I didn't lie. It wasn't physical the way you're thinking. Then explain. She inhaled sharply. Years ago, before I met you, I froze eggs with him. We agreed someday we'd use them if life didn't work out. I never thought I'd go back to it, but when everything between us became cold, I panicked. I stood up so fast the chair scraped. So you went behind my back and had his child. Tears spilled. I was scared of losing myself. I wanted something that felt certain. So you betrayed me. I didn't want to hurt you. You destroyed me. She reached for my hand and I pulled away. Ethan, please. Don't touch me. Silence pressed between us. You planned this, I said. While sleeping next to me. While telling me you loved me. She whispered, I do love you. That word means nothing now. Her shoulders shook. I never expected you to accept it. I just needed you to know. I laughed bitterly. So this is it? You confess and walk away clean? I'm not walking away. You already did. She covered her face. I was afraid you'd hate me. I don't hate you. I hate what you did to us. Ethan. Why didn't you tell me before? I thought if I waited I'd find the right time. There is no right time to destroy someone. She looked up. What do you want from me? The truth. All of it. There's nothing else. Then why do you look like you're still hiding something? Her lips trembled. Because I'm ashamed. Good. She flinched. I paced. Every memory we have is poison now. They were real to me. They weren't real to me anymore. She whispered, I didn't think it would end like this. Neither did I. The room felt smaller. My chest hurt like something was tearing open. Do you expect me to raise another man's child? She shook her head. I don't expect anything. Then why tell me? Because I couldn't live with the lie. I can't live with this. She stood. I'll leave if you want. No, I said. You don't get to escape the damage. Tears streamed. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. What do you want me to do? I looked at her, the woman I built my life around, the woman who shattered it. I don't know. She stepped closer. Please don't give up on us. I whispered, us died tonight. Her breathing broke. I never meant for this. I know. That makes it worse. We stood there staring at each other, two strangers bound by a love that no longer fit. I loved you, I said. I still do. That's not enough. She nodded, defeated. My voice dropped. I don't know if I can forgive you. I'll wait. For what? For your answer. I closed my eyes. Everything I believed in was gone. My marriage. My future. My sense of safety. I opened them again. I have a choice now, I said. She whispered, what choice? To fight for what's left. To forgive you. Or to walk away and let this destroy me. Her lips parted but no words came. I turned toward the door, heart breaking with every step. I don't know which one I'll choose. I woke up to another dark morning and the first thing I said out loud was, I can't do this anymore. My phone buzzed. Daniel said, Ethan, you haven't answered me in 3 days. I don't want to talk. You need to talk. I need sleep. You need food. I need my life back. Silence followed, then Daniel sighed. Come outside. I looked at the ceiling and whispered, go away. He said, I'm already downstairs. I dragged myself out and found Daniel leaning against his car. He said, you look terrible. I feel worse. He asked, did you talk to Vanessa? I shook my head. I can't even look at her. Because of the baby? Because of everything. Daniel said, you can't hide forever. I snapped, watch me. He grabbed my shoulder. Ethan, listen. I pulled away. I don't want advice. I know. Then why are you here? Because you're drowning. I laughed bitterly. I already sank. He said, come eat. I said, I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten. I don't care. He stared at me. You will. We sat in his car in silence before I finally whispered, I feel like I failed. He said, how? As a husband. Daniel frowned. You didn't betray anyone. But I didn't protect anything either. He said, that's not on you. It feels like it is. He drove me to a diner and pushed a plate in front of me. I stared at it. Daniel said, eat. I forced myself to chew and nearly gagged. My phone buzzed again. Vanessa, can we talk? I froze. Daniel saw my face. What? Vanessa. Answer. I can't. You must. I typed we can meet. She replied tonight. I said fine. The hours crawled. When I got home, Vanessa was already there. She stood near the window and said, you look tired. I replied, I haven't slept. I'm sorry. I laughed. That again. She whispered, Ethan. I said, don't. She said, please. I asked, how big is the baby now? She flinched. Why ask that? Because I need to understand what I'm losing. She said, you're not losing me. I said, I lost you already. She touched her stomach. I didn't plan this. You planned the lie. She whispered, I was afraid. So was I. She said, I still love you. I said, love isn't fixing anything. She stepped closer. I want us to survive. I said, I don't even recognize myself. She asked, what do you feel? I said, angry, ashamed, empty. She cried, I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. She said, can you forgive me? I shook my head. I don't know. She asked, do you still want me? I paused. I want my life back. She whispered, I'm here. I said, so am I, and I'm breaking. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. Stop. She sobbed, I can't lose you. I said, I already lost myself. She sank into a chair. I walked to the door, then stopped. I said, this is destroying me. She looked up. What do we do? I replied, I don't know yet. I opened the door and whispered, I need air. Outside the night felt heavy. I sat on the steps and asked myself, who am I now? I thought about every mistake, every moment I ignored the distance, every time I believed the smile. I whispered, I can't survive this. Then I said, I have to. I stood up and realized the truth. I couldn't move forward until I faced her. And I couldn't heal until I faced myself. I went back inside and found Vanessa still sitting there. I said, we are not finished. She looked up. Then talk. I said, tell me everything again. She whispered, why? Because my mind won't stop. She said, I was lonely. So was I. She said, I felt invisible. You made me invisible. She cried, I was scared. I was terrified. She said, I didn't think it would break you. It shattered me. She said, can we rebuild? I answered, I don't know how. She said, try. I said, I am trying just to breathe. She nodded. I will wait. I whispered, waiting is painful. She said, so is losing you. I looked at her and felt the weight of everything pressing down. I said, I need time. She answered, take it. I said, I need space. She replied, I'll give it. I said, I need honesty. She whispered, you have it. I stared at my reflection in the mirror, jaw tight, fists clenched. Enough, Ethan, I whispered. You can't stay broken. Vanessa's voice floated from the living room. You're staring too long again. I didn't answer. I flexed my fingers, feeling the tension in my arms. I'm changing, I muttered to myself. She stepped closer. What are you talking about? I turned slowly, meeting her eyes. I'm taking control, Vanessa. Of my life. Of my emotions. I won't let the betrayal define me. She smiled faintly. That's sudden? Sudden? I asked. No. It's overdue. Vanessa leaned against the doorway. And how do you plan to do that? I smirked slightly. Step 1, focus on myself. Mind, body, and soul. You're working out again? I nodded. Physically, yes. Mentally, too. I've been facing truths I ignored. My flaws, my mistakes, everything. She tilted her head. You think that will change things? I don't think, I said. I know. Vanessa crossed her arms. And what about me? I stepped closer, lowering my voice. I'm observing. Watching reactions. Not to punish you, but to understand. The balance is shifting, Vanessa. Subtly. Her eyes narrowed. Subtly? Yes. You'll notice it soon. Maybe already. Vanessa took a deep breath. You've changed already. I can feel it. I smirked. Good. I want you to notice. She bit her lip. Why? Because I'm reclaiming power over myself. Over us. Over everything that hurt me. Her voice softened. And if I resist? I chuckled low and measured. Then I keep going. Nothing you do will stop me. Vanessa shook her head, half amused, half curious. You're intense. I'm alive again, I said. For the first time in weeks, maybe months, I feel alive. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. I can't tell if I like it or hate it. I smiled. That's the point. I'm not the same man you betrayed. Her eyes flicked to my reflection in the mirror. You're stronger. Stronger, I repeated. Fitter. Sharper. Confident. And I'm only getting started. Vanessa whispered, I didn't think you had it in you. I leaned in slightly. Neither did you. That's why I had to show you. She looked away, silent for a moment. You're different. Dangerous. I laughed softly. Dangerous? Maybe. Focused. Resilient. Determined. That's me now. Vanessa studied me, biting her lip again. And if I try to interfere? I shrugged. Interfere all you want. I've built walls. I've rebuilt myself. Nothing cracks me anymore. Her expression softened. I don't know if I can handle this. I shook my head slowly. It's not about handling me. It's about me handling myself. And I'm doing it well. She stepped back, almost hesitant. I can see that. It's intimidating. Good, I said. I need it to be. I'm reclaiming my life, Vanessa. Every part of it. Starting with me. Vanessa looked down at her hands. And the baby? I exhaled, voice calm. The baby doesn't define me either. I'll protect what matters to me, but I won't be controlled by guilt or anger. I'm above it now. Her eyes met mine again, wide, vulnerable. You've changed everything. I nodded. I have. And I'll keep changing until I'm unbreakable. Until nothing you or anyone throws at me can sway me. She stepped closer, whispering, You're unstoppable. I smiled faintly, chest swelling with quiet triumph. I'm just getting started. And in that moment I felt it, the subtle shift, the silent power moving back into my hands. I was no longer the man destroyed by betrayal. I was a man rising from the ashes, stronger, sharper, alive. Daniel waited outside my apartment when I finally stepped out. "Ethan, you look like hell," he said. "I feel worse," I muttered. He shook his head. "You can't do this alone." "I don't want to burden anyone," I replied. "Not burden. Support," Daniel corrected. "You need someone in your corner." I glanced at him, skepticism heavy in my chest. "And you think you're that someone?" He smirked. "Childhood friend. You should know by now I don't quit." I let a faint smile escape. "Guess some things don't change." Daniel nudged me toward the car. "Come on. You need perspective. Fresh eyes." I hesitated, then climbed in. "Fine. But this isn't a social call." "Never is with us," he said, starting the engine. At work, Olivia approached with her usual warm smile. "Ethan, glad you're back." "Back?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "You've been distant," she said. "Everyone's noticed." I nodded slowly. "And what do you think?" Her eyes softened. "I think you're carrying a lot. If you need to talk." I studied her, sensing something beneath the kindness. "Why are you really here?" Her smile didn't falter. "Ethan, I just care. You don't have to figure everything out alone." I leaned closer. "Careful. Some care hides agendas." She tilted her head. "I don't have one. Promise." I let it go for now, but her words lingered. Back at home, Vanessa was there, speaking to Claire in hushed tones. I stayed in the doorway. "Everything ready for the meeting?" Vanessa asked. Claire nodded. "Yes, Vanessa." I noticed the quick exchange, the subtle glance between them. Trust? Questionable. I stepped forward. "Vanessa." Vanessa turned, composed. "Ethan." I studied Claire. "You're not as loyal as you seem." Claire's eyes flicked to Vanessa, then back to me. I follow orders." "Orders from who?" I asked. Vanessa's smile was tight. "Claire's professional. That's all." I didn't buy it. Professional loyalty has limits. Don't test mine. Vanessa's lips pressed thin. "I'm not testing you." I turned to Claire. "Remember, actions matter more than words." She nodded, uneasy. Daniel appeared behind me. "Everything okay?" I glanced at him. "The walls are shifting. Friends and enemies are hard to tell apart." Daniel placed a hand on my shoulder. "You'll learn fast. Just don't let paranoia rule you." I laughed bitterly. "Paranoia is survival." "Then survive smarter," he said. "Don't react blindly. Observe." I exhaled. Observation. That's what I've been doing. Daniel nodded. "Good. Then you know everyone has a side. Every conversation, every glance, it's chess." I felt a thrill in my chest. Chess. I like that. I like the control it gives me. Olivia approached again, smiling faintly. "Ethan, you're focused." "Impressive." I studied her. "And you? Friend or pawn?" Her lips curved subtly. "Depends how you play." I smirked. "Exactly." Vanessa watched silently, arms crossed. "You think you're the only one learning strategy?" I stepped closer, meeting her gaze. "No. But I'm catching up faster than you think." Claire shifted uneasily behind her. Daniel said quietly, "See? Every move counts. Trust is earned, not given. And betrayal can be tactical." I nodded slowly, mind racing. "I understand now. Every interaction is weighted. Every word, every gesture, a calculation." Vanessa raised an eyebrow. "Careful, Ethan. Chess pieces can be fragile." I smirked, heart pounding. "Fragile, yes. But I'm no longer a pawn." Olivia whispered softly, "Neither am I." I looked at her, eyes sharp. "Then I'll treat every alliance carefully. Friends and enemies alike. Every move matters." Vanessa's lips pressed together. "Watch yourself." I nodded. "I am. Always." Daniel clapped me on the back. "Good. That's how you survive. That's how you win." I turned toward Vanessa, Claire, Olivia, feeling the subtle power shift inside me. I wasn't helpless anymore. Observation, strategy, and careful trust. These were my weapons now. Betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was a game. And I intended to play it smarter, harder, and on my terms. I sat in my office, hands clasped on the desk, watching the email from Vanessa's team pop up. Another deal fell through. Daniel leaned against the doorframe. "Another setback?" I nodded slowly. "Yes. And she's trying to mask it, but the cracks are showing." Daniel smirked. "Karma?" "Maybe," I said. "Or maybe the universe just has a sense of balance." "She's ruthless, Ethan." You sure you want to sit back and watch? I shrugged. Intervening would cheapen the moment. I want this to unfold naturally. Vanessa's voice came over the intercom. Ethan, can you join the meeting? I picked up the call. On my way. The conference room was tense. Vanessa stood at the head, smiling, but her eyes betrayed fatigue. Ethan, she said, voice clipped. Glad you could join. I nodded. Of course. What's the agenda? She motioned to the slides. Review last quarter's results. I studied her, noticing her hesitation, the subtle tremor in her hand. I see some inconsistencies here, I said. Do you want to explain? Vanessa's lips pressed tight. Just small errors. Nothing serious. Daniel whispered beside me. Small errors? They're piling up. I ignored him, focusing on Vanessa. These errors are recurring. Patterns are forming. She inhaled sharply. We're adjusting strategies. I raised an eyebrow. Adjusting or scrambling? Her smile tightened. Both, perhaps. I let a faint smirk cross my face. Interesting. You usually handle this flawlessly. Vanessa's glare was subtle but sharp. I've had distractions. I leaned back. Distractions? She said nothing, only nodded slightly. Daniel whispered, she's unraveling. I whispered back, quiet. Let it continue. After the meeting, Olivia approached. Ethan, you're calm through all this. Impressive. I studied her. Do you think Vanessa is failing? Olivia smiled faintly. I'd call it human error. She's not infallible. I chuckled softly. Neither am I. But I'm learning patience. Olivia tilted her head. Patience. Yes. Watching the fallout. Understanding the timing. Not every battle requires action. She nodded slowly. Strategic. I like it. Back at home, Vanessa entered, face pale, holding documents. Ethan, I miscalculated projections again. I looked at her calmly. I noticed. Stressful day? She sank into a chair. I didn't expect resistance. Everyone questions my authority now. I tilted my head. Questions are natural when cracks appear. Leadership is tested. Vanessa rubbed her temple. It feels personal. I smiled faintly. It might feel that way. But the universe doesn't discriminate. Lessons come in forms we often can't predict. She exhaled. I don't know how to recover quickly enough. I leaned closer. Recovery is possible. But observing your own choices is critical. Sometimes the lesson is in the process, not the outcome. Vanessa's gaze dropped. Are you enjoying this? I shook my head. No. I'm focused. Satisfied only that balance is restoring itself. She looked up, confused. Balance? Yes, I said softly. Karma, fate, whatever you call it. You'll learn from the struggle. Daniel appeared in the doorway. Observing works better than acting blindly. I nodded. Exactly. Vanessa's errors are her own. My growth is mine. Vanessa whispered, you've changed. I smiled faintly. Yes, I control myself now. And watching consequences unfold is part of understanding control. She didn't respond, only stared. Later, alone in my apartment, I reflected. I'm not seeking revenge. I'm seeking balance. Every misstep, every hesitation, it's a lesson she earns herself. And every day I control my reactions is a lesson I earn for myself. Daniel's voice echoed in my memory. Patience, observation, strategy. That's power. I whispered, I see it now. Karma isn't punishment. It's consequence. And consequence is beautiful when it's natural. I glanced at the city skyline from my window. Vanessa's empire trembled, yet I felt no gloating. Only clarity, control, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing I was rising above it all. I sat at my desk, scrolling through files Vanessa had left unsecured. My stomach tightened. This is bigger than I thought. Daniel appeared at the doorway. What is it? Financial manipulations. False reports. Hidden allies. She's been playing a game far beyond me. Daniel whistled. And you're calm? I nodded slowly. Calm. Anger doesn't help. Strategy does. You sure about that? I need answers, not explosions, I said. Later, I found Vanessa in the living room reviewing documents. Vanessa. She looked up, smiling lightly. Ethan. You're early. Not early. Observant, I replied. We need to talk. Her eyes flickered, a hint of concern. About what? I stood, folding my hands. Everything. Your secrets, your lies. The manipulation. Vanessa laughed softly. Manipulation? Ethan, you're overreacting. I leaned closer, voice steady. Overreacting? These numbers don't lie. These emails don't lie. Claire's statements don't lie. You've deceived more than me. Far more. She tilted her head, feigning innocence. And yet here you are, calm and collected. I nodded. I've changed. Tears won't help. Screaming won't help. Only observation and patience. Vanessa bit her lip. You sound different. I am, I said. I understand now. Revenge doesn't always need violence. Sometimes it's delivered through resilience. Through knowing your opponent's moves and being unshakable. Her smile faltered. Resilience or arrogance? Resilience, I replied. Because I don't need to destroy you to win. I only need to outlast. Vanessa's gaze dropped. You think you can just control? I interrupted. Control my reactions, control my future. And by doing so, the tables turn. She stood, pacing. You're reading too much into this. I never intended to hurt you. Intentions don't matter, I said softly. Actions do. And yours speak louder than words. She stopped, eyes sharp. Are you threatening me? I shook my head. No. I'm warning you. I'm not the same man who believed every smile, every excuse, every calculated gesture. I see through it now. Vanessa crossed her arms. And what will you do? I smiled faintly. Watch. Observe. Let the consequences unfold naturally. Her lips pressed tight. And if I fight back? I shrugged. Then I remain unshaken. I've built myself stronger than before. Every tactic you used against me only taught me patience, strategy, and restraint. Vanessa's shoulders stiffened. You're unrecognizable. Exactly, I said. The man you betrayed is gone. The man standing here now is prepared. Claire appeared behind Vanessa, looking uneasy. Ethan. I glanced at her. Yes, Claire? She hesitated. I didn't know how far it went. I nodded. Exactly. You've learned the truth. The magnitude is staggering. But knowing is part of moving forward. Vanessa took a deep breath. You're not even angry. I'm focused, I corrected. And observation is more satisfying than blind rage. She lowered her gaze. And what now? Now, I said, I rebuild what matters to me. I let natural consequences reach those who deserve them. I control myself first. The rest follows. Daniel appeared again in the doorway. That's the way. Patience beats impulse. I nodded. Patience is power. Calmness is victory. And watching betrayal unravel, that is justice in its purest form. Vanessa swallowed hard. You've turned the tables. Yes, I said softly, chest swelling with quiet triumph. I have. Not through anger, not through confrontation, but through strength, focus, and resilience. Watching the web unravel, it's more satisfying than any immediate revenge. She whispered, almost to herself, I didn't think it would come to this. Neither did I admitted. But here we are. The man you tried to destroy is standing stronger, wiser, and unbroken. Vanessa's lips trembled. And you'll survive this. I've already started, I said. The rest is only observation. Karma, consequences, they're moving in their own rhythm, Vanessa. I just watch, unshaken, unbroken, and in control. I turned toward the window, chest tight with quiet satisfaction. The storm of betrayal was fading, and a sense of vindication settled in. The game had changed, and I was ready for every move that followed. I stood in the center of the living room, files spread across the table. Vanessa's eyes darted between the documents, her usual poise slipping. Vanessa, I said quietly, voice firm. It's time we talk. She swallowed hard. Ethan, what is this? These, I said, tapping the papers, are all your manipulations, lies, and hidden agendas. The financial falsifications, the secret alliances, the hidden emails. Every deceit I could prove laid bare. Her hands trembled slightly as she reached for a file. Ethan. Stop, I interrupted, holding up a hand. No excuses. No charm. Not this time. Vanessa's lips quivered. I never wanted. I never intended. Intentions don't erase consequences, I said softly. Do you understand that now? Her eyes filled with tears. I made mistakes. Mistakes. I echoed. Mistakes don't ruin trust for years. Mistakes don't hide betrayal behind every smile, every word, every calculated touch. She looked down, biting her lip. I was scared. Scared you'd leave me, scared of losing control. I leaned forward, voice steady. And in fear you decided to control everything. Everyone. Me. You lied, manipulated, and watched me believe in a life that was false. Vanessa's shoulders slumped. I didn't realize. I thought you would understand. I shook my head slowly. Understand? Vanessa, understanding comes after honesty, after trust. You gave me neither. You only gave me deception. Her hands shook as she held the documents, eyes pleading. Ethan, please. I'm sorry. I inhaled deeply, feeling the calm surge inside me. Sorry isn't enough. Not now. Not after everything. Do you see the weight of what you've done? Her voice cracked. Yes, I see. I'm afraid. That's new, I said softly, almost to myself. Fear. Regret. Powerlessness. You finally feel what I felt for months. Vanessa's lips trembled. Ethan, can you ever forgive me? I met her gaze, steady, composed. That is your journey, not mine. I don't forgive yet. I don't need to. I only need to live, to reclaim control over my life. And that starts with me standing here, unshaken. Her eyes widened, disbelief and hurt mingling with tears. You're not angry? I am, I said, voice low. But anger is mine to manage, not yours to provoke. You've felt enough of your own consequences. Let that suffice. Vanessa's hands dropped to her lap. I never thought you'd see through me so completely. I did, I said. Step by step, action by action. Observation taught me patience. Patience taught me strategy. Strategy taught me control. And control gives clarity. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Ethan. I don't know how to fix this. I shook my head. Some things aren't fixed. They're lessons. And this is your lesson, Vanessa. You'll learn more from the weight of your choices than any apology I could ever give. She whimpered softly. I thought we could recover, together. I felt the old longing surge briefly, then dissolve. Together? Perhaps. But not under lies. Not under deceit. Not while the truth was hidden. I loved what I believed in, not what existed. And now I see clearly. Vanessa's voice faltered. And me? What happens to me? I stepped back, voice calm, steady. You face the consequences. Naturally, quietly, without interference. Your errors, your lies, they unravel in their own rhythm. I've learned patience, Vanessa. I've learned resilience. And that resilience keeps me free, unshaken, unbroken. She lowered her gaze, trembling. I didn't imagine it would end like this. Neither did I admitted softly. But here we are. I'm not the man destroyed by betrayal. I'm the man who faced it, understood it, and now controls himself, his life, his destiny. Vanessa's breath hitched. And the love? Was it all fake? I shook my head. Love was real. But trust was absent. Love without trust is fragile. Love without honesty is a cage. And I refused to be trapped again. Tears rolled down her cheeks, raw, unfiltered. Ethan, I'm sorry. You said that, I said. Now you see it. That realization is yours to hold. I don't need to tell you how heavy it feels. She looked at me, fear and regret mingling. You've changed. Yes, I said softly. I've changed. And that change gave me control. Control over my life, my heart, my future. And now you face your own reality. Vanessa's shoulders shook, silence filling the room except for her quiet sobs. I exhaled slowly, chest swelling with quiet victory. I've chosen restraint, Vanessa. I've chosen clarity. I've chosen myself. And in that choice, I am free. You are learning what freedom without honesty feels like. She remained seated, powerless, regretful, human for the first time. And in that moment I felt it, the ultimate resolution. I had regained control. The tables had turned. And I was unbroken. I walked into my apartment, closing the door behind me, the silence almost deafening. Daniel's voice echoed in my mind. Patience, observation, strategy. That's how you survive. I whispered to myself, I survived. Olivia's message pinged on my phone. How are you holding up? I stared at it, thumb hovering over the screen. I typed back slowly, better. Learning to breathe again. A soft laugh escaped me. Learning to breathe, as if the air ever left me. I paced the room, hands in pockets, thinking. Resilience isn't just enduring, I murmured. It's understanding, it's control, it's moving forward without losing myself. Daniel appeared in my thoughts again. Ethan, remember, control isn't just power, it's freedom. I exhaled slowly. Freedom, yes. That's what I want. I called Claire. Claire, thank you for being honest when it mattered. It helped me see the truth faster. Her voice was soft, hesitant. Ethan. I didn't know how else to act. I'm glad you understand. I nodded even though she couldn't see me. I do. And it matters. I hung up, realizing each conversation, each truth revealed, was a step toward release. Not revenge. Not bitterness. Release. Vanessa's memory flickered in my mind. The betrayal, the lies, the tears, it all resurfaced. I clenched my fists for a moment, then let them fall. Anger doesn't serve me, I whispered. It never did. I grabbed a notebook from the desk, jotting down thoughts, reflections, goals. Healing isn't about undoing what happened, I wrote. It's about becoming stronger, wiser, aware. The phone buzzed again, another message from Olivia. Lunch tomorrow? I smiled faintly, typing back, sure. A fresh start. I walked to the window, gazing at the city skyline. The streets below bustled, oblivious to my personal storm, yet somehow I found peace in that indifference. I am alive, I whispered. I am free. And this is mine. Daniel's voice lingered. Observation teaches more than action. I chuckled softly. I observed. I learned. I grew. I poured a glass of water, taking a slow sip. Reflection and solitude had become allies, showing me the value of patience. I could have sought vengeance, anger, or humiliation, but I chose myself instead. I sat in the armchair, leaning back, letting my thoughts drift. The scars remain, I murmured, but they are mine, not shackles. They remind me what I survived. The evening grew darker, city lights sparkling like tiny promises. I stood, walking slowly toward the balcony. The cold breeze brushed my face, a welcome contrast to the storm that once raged inside me. I've learned, I said softly. Healing isn't about revenge. It's about understanding, preserving my spirit, living fully without the weight of betrayal. I recalled moments of fear, heartbreak, and confusion, and now clarity replaced them. Each painful memory was a lesson. Each tear shed, a testament to survival. My phone buzzed one last time, a text from a colleague. Congratulations on the promotion. I smiled, typing back, thank you. I'm ready for what's next. I walked into the living room, stretching, feeling the quiet strength inside me. Vanessa's betrayal no longer dictated my emotions. Claire's honesty had reinforced my resilience. Daniel's lessons had etched patience into my soul. Olivia's small gestures reminded me life continued, and connection still mattered. I am ready, I whispered. Ready for a life unbound by the ice-cold grasp of deceit. Ready to walk forward. I stepped out onto the balcony, chest lifted, feeling the breeze sweep through me. Each inhale was freedom. Each exhale, release. The city stretched endlessly, full of opportunity and life. I smiled, letting the past remain where it belonged, behind me. The future awaited, a blank canvas, mine to shape. Forward, I whispered. Always forward. And with that I felt it, lightness. Clarity. Power not born of manipulation, not born of control over others, but born of self-mastery. I had survived heartbreak, betrayal, and deceit. I had grown. I had moved on. The night was calm. The stars twinkled. And I, Ethan, stepped into a life fully my own. I stepped out into the morning sunlight, feeling its warmth on my face. The streets were alive with people rushing, living, oblivious to my past storms. I inhaled deeply. This is freedom, I whispered. Daniel called earlier. Ethan, how's the new rhythm? I smiled, replying, better than ever. Learning to breathe again. He laughed through the phone. Good. Remember, trust cautiously, but don't close your heart. I know, I said. Caution without fear. That's the key. Later I met Olivia at a small cafe downtown. She waved as I approached. Morning, Ethan. Morning, I replied, sliding into the chair across from her. How's everything? She smiled softly. Better. And you? Better, I said, voice steady. I've learned a lot. About patience. About resilience. About boundaries. Olivia nodded. Growth looks good on you. I laughed lightly. It feels better than it looks. But yes, it's noticeable even to me. She tilted her head. Do you ever think about her? I paused, letting the question hang. Vanessa? She nodded. Yes, I admitted. Memories linger. But they no longer control me. I've seen the cost of betrayal. I felt it. I've survived it. And that survival, that's my strength now. Olivia reached across the table. I can see it. The calm in your eyes. I nodded slowly. calm but aware. I won't be naive again. But I won't let fear dictate my life either. She smiled softly. And new connections? Yes, I said. Healthier. More honest. People who reflect respect and understanding, not manipulation. A street musician played a gentle melody outside. I glanced toward the window, chest lifted. Music, reminders of simplicity. Life continues, moments unfold, opportunities present themselves. Olivia raised an eyebrow. You're philosophical this morning. I chuckled. It's the dawn, Olivia. The start of something new. I've learned that life doesn't always grant second chances. But it gives opportunities to rise stronger, to make wiser choices, to build anew. She sipped her coffee. And you're ready for that? I am, I said confidently. I feel it. Strength doesn't come from avoiding pain, it comes from facing it, surviving it, and moving forward. A soft breeze drifted through the cafe. I watched people passing by, laughing couples, busy shopkeepers, children chasing pigeons. I used to envy the simplicity of life, I admitted. Now I embrace it. Olivia smiled, eyes warm. You've changed, Ethan. And for the better. I hope so, I said softly. The man I was, entangled in deceit and betrayal, is gone. I'm learning to trust again, cautiously, yes, but honestly. We sat in silence for a moment, letting the city's rhythm fill the space. I reflected on everything, Vanessa's cold betrayal, Claire's honesty, Daniel's guidance, Olivia's quiet support. Every lesson etched into my mind, every scar a reminder of survival. I feel lighter, I said, voice barely above a whisper. Not free from the past, but free of its power. Olivia nodded. That's progress. Yes, I said. And life continues. I'll meet new people, form connections that matter, cherish moments of clarity, and embrace opportunities. Every day is a chance to rise, stronger than before. The sunlight caught my eyes as I gazed outside, chest lifted, heart steady. Memories of heartbreak and deception lingered like distant clouds, but they no longer threatened my horizon. I whispered to myself, a new dawn, a new chance. This time it's mine to shape. And with that thought, I smiled faintly, feeling the pulse of life around me. The world moved forward. I moved forward. Bittersweet lessons remained, but hope and strength guided my steps. The future awaited, full of unknowns, yet I was ready. Stronger, wiser, and finally free. I inhaled deeply, feeling the warmth of the morning sun on my chest. Forward, I whispered. Always forward.